What's good, people? Welcome back to the channel. Cage is back. It's time for a brand new video, new transfer talk, but with a twist today. We're not going to be talking about players coming in. We're moving some players out of here. We need to satisfy PSR. We need to raise funds to strengthen the team ahead of our Premier League return. And I feel that these fees are doable for these players, and maybe the club could do even better. But listen, before I get into it, please like the video, subscribe to the channel, and of course, drop your thoughts and comments below. And big up to every single member of the channel. Salute to the support, and thank you for that. If you want to become a member of the channel, the link is in the description. So, getting into this, look, Stefan Borson was talking about us probably about a week ago now. He had all of this to say in terms of Leeds are set to pay almost 20 million promotion bonuses. Previously, Ipswich had paid 16 and Nottingham Forest paid 21 million. It's nothing unusual. These are things that happen. This is from where players get raises, they get bonuses upon promotion. So that's why I always say when you see players celebrating a lot, yeah, they're happy they got promoted, but it's also because of this as well. All right, never forget that. But what he also said as well, and something I will discount, is that we have 150 million to spend. He doesn't know that. No one knows that except for the club. Only the club know what we've got to spend, whether we got 50 million or 150 million. Only they know what our budgets are, and it's not even agents know. They'll know for individual players or what they're looking to spend in certain areas, but they won't know the totality of what Leeds United have got to spend. But we do need to sell players in order to facilitate strengthening the team. And for me, I've got some prices for these players. And again, these are estimates. So in the comments, please don't say, you know what, I'm talking to one ear out the other here, but I don't know how much these players are gonna go for. What I'm basing it off though is what the club have done previously, and that's exceed my expectations. First of all, with Glenn Kamara, where we got 8 million in total, or just over 8 million for him when we paid 5. We'd never have thought we'd have got that for Glenn Kamara because I didn't think he was all that great. And also just recently the Rasmus Christiansen thing where we've paid 10 million, we've had to take a loss, looking at it basically, but over the totality of PSR, it isn't a loss, but I've already gone into that on that video, so I'm not going to go into it on this one. And they got nearly £8 million for him, where I thought you'd have probably gone for like 4 million. I thought we'd have to cut our losses completely with that one. So the club have already shown that they can do, fine negotiations. And I think that it could possibly get more than some of the prices that I'm saying for some of these players. All right. But listen, the whole point of the video is whoever's going out would obviously be replaced. It's not about who replaces them. So if you want to put in a player that you think you would want to sell, I will also give you that grace. So if you say you want to sell Ethan Ampadu, I'm assuming that you've got someone absolutely superior in his place to replace him. But I want you to give me the price of what you would sell him for. These players, though, I think I don't think there's much controversy here. Maybe it will be for the prices, but I've got Elan Melier going. And by the way, I'm going to round it up. So if I say the price, it's not that it's going to be the price outright. It's going to be worth the deal is worth. Okay. So I've got Elan Melier going with 1 year left on his deal for around £12 million. I think we can possibly get up to 12 million. Maybe the 49ers can do even more. The problem with that is that his stock has fallen. He will still have suitors out there, no doubt about it. He will still be wanted by other clubs who probably believe he just needs a fresh start. But we was looking for nearly 18 to 20 million last summer. I don't think we're going to get that this time. And listen, if we can get 12 million, that would be great. If the 49ers can negotiate even more, then even better. They would do way better than I would have thought. So that's the rate I think we can get. That's the price or deal I think we can sell Elan Melier for. What say you? Next one up is Max Verber. Injury problems out the wazoo. It's been terrible for Max this season with his fitness, but he will still have suitors out there, especially probably back in Austria and especially Germany. And I do think that we can get up to £13 million for him. Some probably will think that's unrealistic. I don't. I still think he's got high stock. I still think that there's clubs. No, I know there's still clubs out there that will want to get him. He just needs to pass that medical. Once he passed that medical, then he's not our problem. Look, he is a good player, and I still think that he could be serviceable in the Premier League, but I just don't trust his fitness. So if Leeds United can move him on, getting a more reliable defender, awesome. And I think 13 million would be a good sweet spot for him. Next up is Ilya Gruev. Again, nothing against Gruev, and if he starts the season with us, I wouldn't be too upset. I just feel that we need more mobile midfielders. Premier League is about tenacity, it's about agility, it's about running, and people love the runners, but it's true that you need that in the Prem. And for me, Ili Gurev, his best asset is his tackling, but that just won't be enough in the Premier League. So if we can move him on, then and replace him with someone more mobile, awesome. 12 million, we got him for 5. I think the club could negotiate up to 12 million pounds to sell him, maybe even more, maybe more. But I think that 12 million would probably be the sweet spot. Because if you can get nearly 4 million over what you paid for Glenn Kamara, Gurev has been for me better overall than Kamara, and he will still have transfer cachet back in Germany too. I think you can get up to 12 million for Gurev, and if you could do that, then do it. Now I've got one for Jack Harrison. Actually, I've got two. I've got him going for, what have I got here? 11 million. I think we can probably get back what we paid for him. In terms of that, what we paid for him from Man City, I think we can get 11 million back for him, especially if Everton do want to re-sign him. I think that they would probably pay for that. They know what his strengths are, they know what his glaring weaknesses are, and maybe they would be accepting of that. Maybe they just turn him into a fullback or something like that, turn him into like an Ashley Young or something. But yeah, I think we could get 11 million pounds for him. The only place I do see us getting more money overall is probably the MLS. I think that they would probably pay up to 15 million pounds. That's just me guessing. Again, these are all estimates, people. Estimates, close to, kind of, could be. It's all guesswork. But I think that if you can get back the 11 million pounds we paid for him, then that's great business. Someone who I don't think we're going to get full value back on is Brendan Aronson. And look, for me, as I've said many times in these videos, the 10 position needs to be overhauled. And Brendan Aronson, I think he's rebuilt his stock nicely this season. Yes, the last few months were very, very quiet, but I think overall, I think his stock has gone back up. And we did overpay for him at 25 million. There's no doubt about it. But if we can get up to 20 million pounds for him, I think that's a great deal for Leeds United. Obviously, if you're talking then 15, it's like, ooh, is that too much of a loss? But if you can get up to 20 million for Brendan Aronson, you absolutely have to do it. Obviously the only worry is does Farke see him as a key component going forward? That would be very worrisome. But if the club is serious about surviving next season, Brendan Aronson does have to be one of those that does not have a key role at the football club. But if they can get 20 million pounds for him, I think that's a pretty good deal. Obviously, the last one that I'm going to name here, and this is more just to get the wages off. Obviously, Bamford's wages have been bumped back up to Premier League level. But if we can get his wages off the books for this season, then just think about how you can replace. You could probably get maybe not 2 players, but maybe you can get one absolutely outstanding player on the money that Patrick Bamford's on. Now, I had him going on a free transfer. I thought it would have to be one of those where it's mutually decided that he goes, the 7th of the last year, the contract, and he goes elsewhere. But apparently we are looking for a fee for him of around 2 million. And if you can get 2 million for this 2025 Patrick Bamford, then you've done amazing business. People, I need to remind everyone, Patrick Bamford, when he next scores a league goal, the commentary team are going to have it ready and this is his first league goal since March, April 2024. He hasn't scored in over a year. So for me, this is more about just getting him off the books, leaving all that doubt about any fans thinking that he can do anything for the football club, strengthening that position and moving him along. And if you can get £2 million in the deal, then that's an absolute sweetener for me, because I thought he would have to leave on a free. Not going to go into all the details of how you move Bamford on. People keep going on about this. I've gone through it so many times that I'm bored of speaking about it. There's always ways of clubs negotiating how to move players' wages, and players sometimes accept a slight reduction as well, considering where they possibly will be going. But there's ways and means of getting around his current contract and moving him along. There's ways and means of doing it. So that's my ultimate list. Obviously, there are other players that could possibly leave. We don't know the conversations that are going to be had in the summer with players that will probably didn't get the playing time that they wanted. I would not be selling Ramazani, but it might not be up to us if he feels he's going to have the same kind of role that he had this season. Mateo Joseph, I don't want to sell him, but again, he might decide that he wants to move back to Spain. You could be looking for up to £15 million for him. Pascal Struijk, who for me won't be the first choice centre back this season. I think that you do need to get a first choice centre back in this football team, probably next to Joe Rodon. He could go up to anywhere 16 to 18 million. There's other ways of doing it. I haven't included Nanto on there just purely on the basis of the sell-on fee that we owe to his former club, which could be anything up to 40%. So if we were to sell Nanto for, say, 20 million, it wouldn't be just 20, but let's just say it's 20 million. we're not getting much more than what we'd be getting for Jack Harrison, which for me would be criminal. I would much prefer to keep Willie Nanto, get him back to that level, let him play himself back to that level that he was when we first was in when we returned to the Premier League and he first joined us, and then see what about it from there. But I would keep Nanto in the squad anyway, as I feel he's a Premier League player already. But listen, people, those are just some of mine. If you've got any more that you would sell, put them in the comments and just let me know what you think you could get for him. Because it's not like last season for me where we had those big assets that went for absolute, Archie Gray 40, Jorginho 40, Somerville deal worth 35. I don't feel like we've got those assets at the club right now, but maybe the 49ers could prove me wrong. But listen, people, put your thoughts in the comments, like the video before you go, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace out.